Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to my channel. So let's take a look at the receipt of the Métiers 2026 collection. Matthieu Blazy, what do you have to offer us?
And here we are. I am up close and personal with Matthieu Blazy's Métiers Paris-New York collection for 2026. I have been invited to the boutique in Beverly Hills, the Chanel boutique, for the official receipt of the collection, so I'm gonna get to touch everything. So here I am inspecting the details. I'm trying to figure out, how the chains in the jacket work, the stitching, and here I'm kind of seeing, unfortunately, that little gros grand bit, it's not aligned with the bottom of the tweed. But anyway, quality issues aside, I'm inspecting here all the details. Quality issues aside, I really want to sit down with you guys in an upcoming live stream, and then we all get to talk about this together. Like, I will share really in-depth details about what I think about the collection, and then you can tell me in the live chats what your opinions are. Because by then I think the people that wanted to see this collection would have gone to the boutiques to see it. But for now, I'm going to focus definitely on the details, like the tactile experience of this collection. As you can see, I'm zooming as close as I can into everything I'm seeing here to give you guys as much of an in-depth visual as possible. So all of the ateliers that do Métiers d'Art for Chanel, but that Chanel also owns, they are in this receipt exhibiting their materials. As you can see, their threads, their yarns, their tweeds, the tweed making. You can pause the video here and read all the texts. The Lesage explanation. Since 1996, it says Lesage has been reinventing the tweed. Yada yada. Here is the Lesage leopard pattern tweed. Now, this particular tweed, we have just heard that Chanel has recalled their bags with this tweed in this size. Well, in the large, in the maxi size. However, I don't know if this tweed is also affected in their jackets, smaller bags, skirts. Anyway, another situation where I'm thinking to myself, like, how did that happen? So anyway, here we're seeing more details of their costume jewelry. This is not fine jewelry. We do have quite a few examples of it now. As for these shapes and what have you, I love Goussons, don't get me wrong. This is one of my favorite Parisian houses for custom jewelry. I love their gold plating. I love when they work with mountain crystals and bronze. You can pause the video there and read the text. But sometimes the direction that they're given goes in a simpler direction and sometimes a little bit more complex. These chains, they're okay. We've seen better from Chanel and from Goussons, definitely. Then we have Le Marie, flower making experts. I adore Chanel's camellias. You can pause here as well. While you're thumbing up the video, subscribing, thank you everybody, and everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. So, anywho, as we are moving through, I loved this little example, although they did kind of just throw that camellia in the corner there and it feels a little bit mismanaged, and then like all of the little dust on this plate, on this display tray from Chanel. I felt sorry for this camellia. I was so intrigued with this little metal contraption that is used to create, I guess, petals for the flower. 1904, I don't know if that's a code for the size or the shape of this thing, or if it was made in 1904 and it's still in use. Either way, love the flower. Now, you see I was talking about the skirts and jackets earlier in that same tweed. Well, that's the jacket and skirt. And the tweed does look really delicate, to be honest with you. Now, the inside has silk, and this silk lining is also available as a carré, a scarf. I've seen it in the 90 times 90 centimeter size, with like Coco Chanel in Paris, with the font that she used to use in the 20s to write her brand name. So interesting, but Chanel has done this before. We've seen carrés that are printed in the same way that the interior of the jackets are. But it's always a nice touch. Now here, for the fringes, I've been told that these fringes are especially twirled just for this piece. Now, I know how good fringes are twirled, actually. You're not supposed to cut the bottoms, guys. You're supposed to twirl it, then downwards. I don't know how to explain this in words. And then twirl it upwards again. Meaning that the little tassel bit does not have like little fringes coming out of it at the top. It can't unfurl because it is one piece that keeps kind of twirling down and then up again. They didn't do that here, and I inspected it over and over and over again. I tried to understand, like, let me see here, I'm inspecting again. Are we just cutting the tips of these little tassels fringes, or are we twirling them upwards? We are not. We cut them. That was one of the bags from the collection. They've used a lot of suede. Now, suede is a little bit of an inferior quality leather. I love suede. Always have, always will. It is quite delicate. Now, considering that it is a little bit of an inferior quality leather, the prices of a suede bag, in my humble opinion, should be lower than, let's say, lambskin. So then there was a video depicting the runway show looks, and then here is a jacket in wool or cashmere. I was intrigued by these buttons because there is resin on top, like a little domed resin. Inside of the resin we have a double C in metal, and then little particles, blue, like navy and white, on a burgundy background. These are probably, I want to say plastic bits or resin bits, but maybe they're pebbles. Either way, it looks like it's something that was handmade partially, and the buttons do look cute, but then Chanel buttons always look cute. That coat is really nice. I like the shape. A couple of photos from the lookbook of the collection, and then we have one of the most editorial pieces from the show with this, what I love to call the anemone look. Some people have named this the Spider-Man something Marvel connected to New York. Yeah, maybe it looks like acid barf on the streets of New York when New York was fun and you had a lot of parties on the weekend, and you know, the meatpacking district. Anybody remember Sex and the City? Anyway, I digress. So this is a jacquard. Now we do have the grinning, soaking and seeping through. So from one side to the other, you do have textures there. You do have a thickness to this. And you do have a pretty well stitched kind of piping to follow these asymmetric, irregular cutouts and lines of the jacket in this case, but also the back and the skirt. The buttons are a semi-polished metal, it would appear to be, and then with black resin on top for the double C. So the buttons do have the logo, and we did not lose the logo. And I think maybe Matthieu got the memo from the higher ups, like, hey, we need the logo. So very visible logo here. I'm looking on the inside of this pocket just to see the construction of it, because, you know, I love to see all those details. I do appreciate that the pattern of that bottom pocket at least follows through onto the jacket. You know, they found, you see how it follows through, the pattern of this anemone? That's a very, very good detail. The shoes, reminiscent of something from the late 20s, 30s, more 30s New York jet setter life. Here's the Métiers presentation in Beverly Hills with that QR code. Don't scan it if you don't want to. Don't worry about it. I know some people are not into the QR code stuff. This is a very vintage looking shoe. I do like this shape quite a bit. Not a fan of that double C on the tip stitched into the leather, but the burgundy and the beige, brown, and then white color is really beautiful. This shoe, if you are into a heel that high, and if you are into a more kind of 30s look, New York, yes, but this could be also Hollywood, you know. Love it. More suede. This is an interesting bag because obviously the handle, well, first of all, we have a detachable strap. You can see those two little D-rings. That means Chanel is now no longer scared that we're going to use those chains for something else, but it's detachable. But then the handle holds that bag in place, and if the zipper isn't closed fully, it's just going to kind of, probably after you've used it a while, the zipper gets very loosey-goosey, and then it kind of just might open if you're carrying something heavy inside. Anyway, this is a little netting on the head, very reminiscent of what Coco used to do. She would do it a little bit more fine and refined. Ladybugs on a tweed jacket. This is the same tweed as the leopard, just without the leopard pattern, but it's kind of the same idea for the structure of it. You just see the intricate detail and the webbing of it better on a white material, white color. The buttons are reminiscent of Chanel 20s and 30s, mostly 30s, the gripois flowers that she would sell. There's many photos online in their archives of Chanel boutiques, or of the Chanel boutique in Paris, having colliers and brooches and pins with those flowers in many different colors. The ladybugs are detachable. This shoe, I'm not sure if the shoe comes with a ladybug or not, but these are feathers and the ladybugs are attached. They are like brooches. They appear to be handmade, these ladybugs. So we're going to get to the ladybugs a bit later. Now, there is no crocodile, alligator, or exotic skins. Chanel stopped doing those in 2019, so these are all embossed. So it is the so-called cocodile instead of crocodile. And I'm not a big fan of embossed bags anymore. I've had my phase. I have one from the Paris, New York, Egypt collection. Carl's last Métiers. Oh, hello. Yours truly. Just so you know, it's really me. I am there filming. Nobody else did it. And here is an interesting leather. Not a fan of the quality of it. But anyway, we're going to talk more about it when we, sit down together and observe everything. So you see what I mean about this little bag? So if something is really heavy inside and then like the zippers aren't fully closed and you lift it, it's going to unzip on its own. I don't mind the shape of this bag. I wish the chain were detachable in that case. Now, there's been a bit of the conversation and debate about these shoes. Some people say it looks like the tip of an apple. Some people say it looks like a fish. Some people say it looks like some skyscraper in New York. Yeah, to me, it just doesn't look practical enough to be whimsical enough, because whimsy in Chanel is also practicality. The red apple on the heel, yeah, I get it, because New York, red apple, okay, groundbreaking. But, it's that little whimsy that Carl used to do, and we have that going on here as well. This is the maxi, I believe, or just a large. Single flap in suede with gold, light gold hardware. Then we have a lambskin intertwined leather strap in the light gold chain. Now, surprise, surprise. So first of all, the suede is very rough. It's not a soft suede, by the way. I was feeling it here. And then, surprise, surprise, we flip it and we have calfskin underneath. So the bag is calfskin underneath, and then the outside, it's suede. And it is quite thick, but unfortunately glazed on the sides. We have a ton of double C's interlocked to form this pendant. Again, those flowers, in this case, petals in a jade or aquamarine, reminiscent of gripois from the 30s. The tops of the pockets, as well as the trimming of the jacket, is not wool. As you can see, it is a lot of little beads. And we're going to get to the beads later as well in this video. So keep watching, thumb up the video, subscribe, you guys. Thank you so much for subscribing. And here we have another example of that embossed exotic on probably calfskin with a little attached wallet. And the pièce de résistance, which is the main look of the show, at least in my humble opinion, is the Superman, or the double C instead of the S for Superman, knit sweater with the Clark Kent glasses vibe, even though he had very different glasses in the movie, in the original movie. But anyway, then we have that jacket, we have the reporter shirt unbuttoned, and the tie. So the tie is 700 euro. The jacket is 7,000 euro. The sweater, I think, is 3,000. The shirt is 2,600. The glasses are about 600. And then the pants were outrageously, the pants were 7,000. Yeah. And then the bag is also 7,000, I believe. And then the shoes were 1,500. So it more or less all adds up to be 30,000 something euro if you want the total look, if you buy it in Europe. I'm looking if the lines are aligned. They are on the sides of the jacket. At the bottom, they did not align all of the stripes. But the side of the jacket, the stripes are aligned. So not bad. Again, that button, different color combination this time with the resin on top and all those little bits of whatever it is on the inside, either plastic or natural materials. Again, a bigger size bag, grainy calfskin this time with that zipper all around it. So yeah, and these are the shoes. So this is the total look from the Runway, and I kind of added up the price. I mean, yeah, 30 to 37,000 for the total look. I mean, at this point, you know, if you're flying first class and you're actually paying for a ticket, like let's say you're flying from Europe to New York, easily get to pay 10,000, 15,000 for a return flight. So two return flights and you got yourself a total look at Chanel. So for some people that's peanuts, but it just shows you how everything is so relative in life and how things might appear really unattainable to some and then like peanuts to others. This is a beading bordure done on the little sleeve as well as the collar, and then we have that waistline, which does give us that kind of finishing the 50s, entering the 60s vibes. And yeah, Chanel did do silhouettes like this, different beading, different styles. She was a little bit more clean when it came to refining embroideries on garments. Fish, yeah, it is kind of going towards, you know, and also in particular this bag, it is giving us an oriental vibe. I know this word is no longer in use officially, so it's a discontinued term, but let's just say this is not an Occidental look. This is an appropriation look from the 60s you know, it's a cocktail dress, a very refined cocktail dress. And then we have a sweater. Now, you know, this I really liked. It is giving me 30s vibes. Okay, I filmed that too short. The bag, this leather is really not good in my opinion, but Coco with the dog, and then you have two zippers. You can pull the dog to Coco or Coco towards the dog. Cute. It's been done before though. Carl did this. I actually have a necklace from 2013 with a silhouette similar to this. With Coco and her models. All of the models were portrayed like different silhouettes made in different pieces. Here I'm inspecting the leather, pressing into this very dry looking lambskin. I don't even know if it's lambskin. It just doesn't do it for me. Again, that little cardigan. The twin set, love it. The boring beige color, love it. Buttons that look like a Dalmatian. Cruella de Vil would love those. We have a chain at the bottom of that skirt. Again, crocodile, not crocodile. Pointy shoes. Giving us 30s American vibes. I also think this is something somebody could wear in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Bob Hoskins' assistant, maybe. Was she his assistant or was she the reporter? Well, they got together. Yeah, spoiler alert. Now here, we're back to the ladybugs. I told you we would be back. But first, we're going to get to them. Let's get to the shoes. So we have Massaro creating the shoes for this collection. And again, you can screen grab this to read the text. Yes, it is Massaro. The shoemakers at Massaro revisited the iconic Chanel two-tone slingback for this collection, drawing inspiration from an archive model. The art of shoemaking requires different steps that involve a set of specific savoir-faire, and you can read the rest. So there are photos depicting how they go about making these shoes for the Métiers d'Art collection, but not only, also for their haute couture collection, and in some cases for their prêt-à-porter lines as well. So it is always nice for me to see, you know, kind of what happens behind the scenes, the magic of how these things are made step by step. So they did show relatively well how these steps look like. Of course, there's like steps in between the steps, so I think They showed us here like a total of 6 or 7 different steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They showed us 5 different steps. And this is how the Chanel shoe becomes a Chanel shoe. Now the question is, you know, the ones that we buy in the boutique, are they really made the same way, or is there something else that we're not seeing? Oh, this is a little shot of my bag. I wore the Korea Cruise 2016 bag with aged, de-stressed lambskin in chevron. It's one of my favorite bags. I kind of end up using that one the most from my collection. It's just easier to use. More beads and details of how Chanel works with embroidery and adding a lot of materials. Here are the threads that are utilized for some garments, in particular for these beads. Very interesting. And here we get to the ladybugs again. So these are puffy and fluffy and super light. That's a photo of one. That's not an actual huge ladybug. It's just a photo of one enlarged. And they are, I want to say, yeah, there's detail in them. They're cute, but a little bit amateur, you know, when you look at them up close, like you could make it yourself. And I say, why not, you know? I don't think that the ladybugs are on sale individually. They come as part of the jacket or bag that you're buying that has them. So to create this feline shaped hat, Maison Michel was responsible for it. So you can go back to that text, screen grab it. There are 2 colorways of it. There's a black one, and then there's this white, off-white, I want to say. And the models wore it kind of on the top of their heads in connection with the hairdos. This is more 40s style than 30s. And then a beaded, very light silk or crêpe de chine, I would say. This looks more like crêpe de chine. There was no tag to describe what it was, but beautiful material. I love a good crêpe de chine. And then we have more photos from this Métiers d'Art collection, from the lookbook. They are printed very, very big, and then placed in this room where you get to experience how to do embroidery and beading yourself. And there's more examples of how they make the collections. I love these feathers. The colors are very daring in a good way. Baby blue, always love a baby blue feather. And here is a text: feathers taking shape in the Le Marie Atelier. Well, that's nice. And then I was so obsessed with this feather. Okay, moving on to the next. And please let me know while you're watching. Hats and headbands taking shape in the Maison Michel Ateliers. Let me know down below what your thoughts are about this video. How did I do? Mind you, just a little insider intel. I had a splitting headache and a super stiff neck the day that I was doing this. So I really hope that my camera work is sufficiently okay for you guys. I did my best, which made my headache get even worse. Anyway, we digress. I don't have a headache right now, so yay, I'm happy. Loved this little piece that they're gonna melt. Costume jewelry taking place. This is at Coussins. They did do these little hound dogs for the collection. Very New York, very 30s and 40s. It's the crystals for me. I would have preferred them to be kind of just done in, you know, brass or bronze even, and then gold plated, and then like some enamel on them or some quartz crystal. But anyway, they love their little shiny bedazzled things that look like Swarovskis. What can I say? This was the beautiful little moment that they gave people visiting the show here, or the Risi. 2 ladies, well, one lady that came directly from Maison Michel was explaining to us how to bead and how to thread. And you get to choose a portion of the printed fabric, which is from the Métiers d'Art 2026 Paris-New York collection. And then you get to choose a portion of it, and then you select little pearls or beads or crystals, and then you get to thread it through. You get to do a little tiny portion. And, you know, it's really cute. It's interactive, but it's not like you get to take it home with you. No, it's they have this big piece that's just kind of stretched out on this huge table, and they show you how it is to work on these pieces. and you're threading when you're done you leave, and like whatever, all of these little beads and pearls and crystals have been placed there by customers or whoever was invited. This is me touching the fabric because I was noticing that even before you put any beads on it, there's also prints on the fabric. Like some of them are elevated, there's a little bit of flocking going on. Here is a broad selection of the color palette that they use for this collection, and then you get to pick out the beads. They direct you a little bit. They also tell you, like, you know, this goes here, that should go there, but you're also free to just, you know, play with it a little bit and mix and match. But it's not like there's some crazy stuff here that has nothing to do with the collection, and hence you end up making something totally new. No, they've made it very clear. They structured this little workshop situation specifically to enhance the experience of shopping this collection. You know, this is a marketing strategy, and it's a fun marketing strategy if you have the time to sit there and, you know, I took the time to inspect everything. Like they kept coming to me with food on trays and saying, like, would you like this, would you like that? And of course, you know, caviar was there and champagne was there. Nothing. I was like, no, thank you. I do not want to miss a second. I have to film every detail. I did not eat anything at the event. At one point I had a glass of water just because I was being a little bit dehydrated. Atelier Montex, the little cushions with the needles in them, I wanted to film that as well. I just wanted all the details. I wasn't really interested in the pattern at the end of the day of this tapestry thing. I was interested in details, because that's what we always miss when we're seeing these collections, because so much detail is in them and there's so little time to experience it because it's over before you know it. 1 month later and there's already the new collection out. This logo was handmade by the colleague from France, from Atelier Montex. Super cute. They were very proud of it.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe, thumb it up, and never give up on love.